What's up? What's up? What's going on, my people? What's up? What's up? What's going on? Microphone check. Check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right. So this is the first time I'm using a microphone like this. This is a little gamer headphones. I'm using this because it's just easier for when I'm outside and I got the microphone. The other microphone I have is not working that well, so this is the best I got to deal with right now. But so in this live, I really wanted to talk about a lot of things, right? A lot of things. Right now it's the end of October. October is ending. November is coming up. November is when the holiday season starts. December into the new year. So I want to talk a little bit about that. But before I get into that, I want to talk about that holiday feeling here in DR. Is it wearing off? Is it fading away? I want to know what you all think. Now, I can tell you this. I follow a lot of YouTubers. I follow the chat groups, right? I'm in a couple of chat groups. Yeah, there's quite a few folks. Not a lot. I wouldn't say a lot of folks, because most folks, when they move here to be here. They don't move here to be here for a short period of time and bounce. And when they move here, they tend to have roots here, right? But there are quite a few folks who are leaving, whether they're going to some other country or going back to the States. So I wanted to talk about that. Is that holiday feeling here in DR wearing off? In my case, a little bit. And let me explain why I say a little bit. I'll say this. Let me step a little closer. I'll say this. After being here for a while, you find that there's some things that can be really annoying here. Some things that you sort of adapt to it, but you can't really get used to it. So the customer service here is not that good, man. And it's like, it's just not good at all. And that can be annoying at times, especially when you take time out of your day to go to a doctor's appointment, or you take time out of your day because you got to make a run with the bank or get a document from the government, or so what and so forth. And sometimes it could just be a hassle. If it's not you getting the runaround, just say, hey, you got to go here, you got to go there, because people don't really know what they're talking about. They don't know their job, so they'll give you instructions, that they're pulling out of their butthole and not really know what the answer is. And they're just telling you anything to get you out of their face. That happens a lot here. Can't get used to that. And I was just listening to a live of another brother, Taylor Made Dreams. And he said, Thailand, because he moved to Thailand recently. Thailand is a land of smiles, and the DR is a land of scams. I'm not going to agree with him 100% on DR being a land of scams. I'm here. This is my home now. This is my country now. I cannot agree with that. But I will say this: you do feel like and I agree with Taylor Made on this point. You always feel like you have to be on your toes here. You always have to be on your toes here, because you always get the feeling that someone is trying to cheat you, right? Look, I agree with him on that 100%. It's tiring. It is tiring to every day you want to be dealing with honest people, but a lot of people are just not honest, or they just don't have the same, level of morals where they do right, you do right by them, they do right by you. Nah, it's not. It doesn't work like that here, man. And it gets tiring where day in and day out, any transaction, any people you deal with, you feel like someone's trying to get over you because they're trying to get over you. I mean, and I don't want to say every person, but there is a high risk because a lot of people are like that, and that can get tiring. Do you deal with that in other places? Of course you do. Of course, in other countries and other places you deal with that. But I feel that in DR, to agree with Taylor made on that point, that it's more common here. On another note, I'm not going to touch on dealings with the government and like that because I don't have any experience with that as far as the legal system and stuff like that. I can only go by what I hear other people say, what I read in the expat forums and chat groups, etc. But a lot of people have had issues, with the legal system here, partially because they don't understand the legal system here. They can't expect the legal system to work the same way it works, the same way they expect it to work in the United States. It's just not how things go. It's another country. They have another. It's a different system. You can't have those same expectations. However, because they partially do not understand the legal system here, and there are they may feel that a lot of people in the legal system here are working against them, even when they supposed to work for them, they're working against them. Look, the country isn't perfect, and it's just you got to give and take. This country is beautiful. It has a lot of beautiful things to offer. I'm enjoying my high quality life here. However, there's some things I should say that is just not perfect, and you just have to deal with that, the best way you can. I can tell you this though, though here is home and though here is where I have my roots, at some point I don't plan on being here every day. At some point I would like to be able to travel more, or maybe spend a few months out of the year outside the country, or only spend a few months here and spend, my time in other places. I'd like to do that at some point. I'm not at that point yet, but at some point I'd like to do that. But is it wearing off? And it is for me personally, because there's some things like I guess I'm really sick of, like people always trying to get over me. I'm sick of the traffic, but the traffic thing is easy as me moving to another part of the country where that's not an issue, because I live here in the Santo Domingo area. That's basically, I guess those are basically the main things I get really annoyed by. For other folks, there's other reasons. But there it is. I really would like to know what you all think about that, about folks leaving the country. I have my man Chop Papa TV, Freedom Chop Papa TV. He moved to Brazil, partially because of his frustrations that he was having living in DR. But I think the other part too was, he had his reasons. I don't want to speak for him, but he did mention some of his frustrations here in DR and how his trip to Brazil, he just realized that Brazil has a much better infrastructure and have much more to offer him, things that fit his needs. So therefore, he made the move. I've been to Brazil. I understand Brazil is nice. It's developed. It's big. It's It has a lot to offer. Cost of living is cheaper. The biggest thing for a lot of us who are expats or folks who are leaving the U.S., the cost of living is very important. Excuse the wind. It's been raining all day today, so excuse the wind. Maybe later on I'll fix the audio. But yeah, cost of living is really, really important. And prices have risen in DR. I mean, I've been in DR for quite some time now. I've witnessed the cost of groceries go up, the cost of gas go up, the cost of Uber and driver, the cost of electricity. I mean, before I was paying 800 pesos a month, and now I'm paying 300 pesos more a month. So there is a difference. And for me, the difference is not going to make me leave the country. But for some other folks, it's big enough to where, hey, I got to move to a cheaper country, And because DR is an island and everything is imported into the island, they don't fabricate hardly anything here. I say fabricate. They don't manufacture hardly anything here. Therefore, things are just going to be more expensive here. For me, I'm not only here in DR because it's a beautiful country, and the cost of living is good, and the high quality life is good. I didn't move here for that reason. I moved here for a number of reasons. And some of you who have been watching my channel, you know what those reasons are. However, here's home. My roots aren't going to move. So in the near future, when I start traveling much more than I have been already, this will still be the headquarters, my headquarters, I should say. But I'm going to be putting out a video real soon, a lot of videos really, on some resorts that I've gone to. Excuse me. In addition, I'm going to be putting out, I got some more videos I'm going to put out for Brazil. And I'm going to be putting out a video real soon, probably today or tomorrow, about getting my passport renewed here. So just to touch on that, I got my passport renewed recently, where not because it was expired, but because I didn't have any more pages for immigration to put a stamp on my passport. And I believe it was the U.S. where he was looking for a place to put a stamp. And I was joking with him. It was like, yeah, man, I've been traveling a lot, so it's not really any room. It was like, look, some countries, including the U.S., may deny you if there's no space to stamp the passport. So after he told me that, when I got back to DR, I made sure that I went through the process, searched the process to figure out what I need to do to get my passport renewed. Went on the U.S. Embassy in DR website. They had laid out the process. Originally, when I talked to somebody a while ago, they said that you got to call to get an appointment. You got to go in, blah, blah, blah. But when I logged on, I don't know if it's because of the pandemic, the way they changed up everything. And all I had to do was, get my passport pictures taken, fill out a form, and sign it. Get a copy, scan a copy of my passport, and get a cashier's check for $130. And if I was paying in pesos, I had to use a peso amount that they had on the website. Not the equivalent of $130. No, it's not the same. The exact amount of what they have on the website for that particular time. So I did that and went to Domex, which is a carrier they have here. The official carrier for the U.S. Embassy in DR is Domex, D-O-M-E-X. And they are very familiar with the process. Went to my local Domex office, boom, turned it in. 28 days later, I got my they went to my house to deliver the passport. And also got a passport card too, which was an extra $30. So, what's the use of having a passport card? Hey, honestly, before I moved here, I did not know why people even got a passport card. Like, what's the point? But when I moved here, I was hanging out with another expat from the U.S. and he's not a resident here, so he doesn't have a settlement. But he was like, I'm not going to be walking around, traveling around the country with my passport just so I can lose it. It's best to travel around with your passport card. So that's what he does. He travels around with his passport card. And even though I don't need to do that here because I'm a resident, I have my settler, and I also have my driver's license. But when I travel abroad, like to Brazil or next country I'll probably travel to, probably be somewhere in South America, more likely, probably between Ecuador and Peru or Argentina, or maybe even back to Brazil again. So I'm still working those details out. But when I travel, I'll leave my passport at the hotel and travel around with my passport card. There it is. What else? And that was it. So it was a pretty smooth process. I've heard of other folks talk about how, look, man, you ain't gotta do all that. All you gotta do is say you lost your passport, and then you go out to the embassy and they'll issue a passport in a couple of days, right? I ain't want to do that because I don't want to be lying to the U.S. government. So there you go. What else? Also, I'm a resident here, so what's the point of me doing that if I'm a resident here? See what I'm saying? I ain't going nowhere, so I can wait 28 days. Now, if you were here as a tourist, you were only here for a week or 2 weeks, and you need that passport much sooner, I totally understand. Totally understand. What else? I just saw on the news, reading on one of the forums, that a expat in Las Terrenas was murdered within past couple of days. Now, I don't like to talk about negative stuff like that on the channel, but that is rare. So I don't have any information on that. But as soon as I do, I will share with you all just in case you all are interested in that and what goes on in the in that community in Las Terrenas. But I don't want to give folks the wrong idea that DR isn't safe. I mean, essentially nowhere is safe. You're at risk of being robbed or killed anywhere you go. But if you use your best judgment and take precautions and do things to lower your risk, and for the most part, you'll be in good shape. Anyone out there, you have any questions, comments? Hay una persona ahí que tiene una pregunta, cualquier comentario, cualquier cosa. Also want to mention that I got another channel, Profe Gallo en Español. And con ese canal yo no tengo muchos suscriptores. Yo tengo algunos videos, pero yo estoy haciendo más y más y más para ese canal en español. And then I'll reserve this channel right here for my English-speaking audience. But if you also want to, practice your Spanish, practice your listening, and all that, check out my channel, Profe Gallo en Español. And you'll see that I have a lot of videos. Some of the videos I even start doing where I will, maybe I'll speak Spanish, but I have the words and what I'm saying in English so that folks can follow if they do not know Spanish. So, I don't have any comentario, no questions, no comments. I'll move on to this. So, what are my plans for the holidays? No, no. What are your plans for the holidays? Now, for me, what am I doing? For real, I ain't doing too much. I'm already in the holidays. I'm in the holiday season here in DR, 365, 7 days a week, right? Uh, I'm gonna hit up a couple of resorts between November and December, and I'll share that with the channel as well. I will probably have to go back to the States for a couple of days soon, but apart from that, nothing. And for 2023, I got a trip that I'm still trying to figure out right now whether it's going to be Ecuador and Peru. So, because if I go to Ecuador, I'm going to Peru. And as you all know, I used to live in Peru for a couple of years. So I have people that I like to go out there and visit. I have things that I like to do that I didn't get a chance to do while I was living there. I've already been to Ecuador, but I might go to Ecuador to be able to explore a little bit, record, and see a few sites that I haven't seen. But I know recently Ecuador was having some issues, a lot of protesting, a lot of clashing with the government. So hopefully by that time, I do plan to go there. If I go there, that's not an issue. If I don't go to Ecuador/Peru, I will go to Argentina. I've never been to Argentina. I have not followed a lot of people actually going to Argentina, but I'm no stranger of the world, where I've done enough reading and know quite a bit about Argentina to know that they have some economic issues. So the cost of living there is cheaper than a lot of countries. So I can get my bang for my buck going out there. Also, it's a big country. It's the second largest country in South America after Brazil. So there's a lot to see, a lot to do, and Argentina has a lot to offer. Buenos Aires, the largest city, it's like basically a European version of a South American city. It's big, the same size you would compare like, London or Paris. Same, Buenos Aires, the same size. They also have Cordoba, which is the second largest city in Argentina, and northern Argentina, which is also a very popular city. From what I understand, it's a more organized city than Buenos Aires. And you also have the Pampa region, and you also have Patagonia, which is towards the south, where it's closer to the Arctic. So at the very northern tip, Argentina is tropical. Not Amazon rainforest, but it's close to that region, right? And then you have the Arctic extreme in the south, or subarctic extreme in the south. So with that said, Argentina has a lot to offer. Good food, a strong Italian influence. You can tell the Italian influence in the way they speak, right? They have an Italian twang in their Spanish. Also, they have a lot of Italian influence in the cuisine. So if I go to Argentina, I'd be really excited to go out there and explore. I don't see a lot of Black YouTubers going out to Argentina and recording and mingling with the locals. So that'd be a really dope experience. I'll probably go out there. I can't say exactly, but I'll be going out there next year if I don't go to Brazil or Ecuador/Peru. But before I go to both those places, I'll be taking another trip out there to Colombia. What city? More than likely it'd be Medellin. If not Medellin, it'd be Cartagena. So I've been there already, but I went to various cities in Colombia, so I didn't spend a lot of time in any particular city. So now this time I want to go to one Colombia city and spend a lot of time there so I can do more and get them a more of a feel and experience for that city. So, any of you, any questions, any comments, anything at all? ¿Alguno de ustedes tiene una pregunta, un comentario, cualquier cosa? Por favor, escríbeme. Cualquier cosa. Nada. What else? Yeah, so I guess I didn't really touch on this. A lot of folks are looking at, I mean, constantly, I'm seeing different videos being put out about, referencing the big three, Colombia, Brazil, and Dominican Republic, and saying that folks are leaving because of the cost of living and this and that, whatever. They're looking at other Southeast Asia, the Philippines, Cambodia, Thailand, Indonesia, right? Those countries as an alternative to a lot of the big three. For me, honestly, big three, I don't have a specific interest in those big three countries. But prior to moving to DR, I've never specifically been to Brazil or Colombia. I had already been to Ecuador. I had already been to Peru, like I said, the various countries in Central America and the Caribbean. Excuse me, I've already been to. So it wasn't like DR was the first country I moved to. I came to and was like, oh, I'm moving here. I've already lived abroad and had a feeling of how the outside world operates. However, I definitely, have like I heard Taylor May Dreams just mentioned that travel bug. So I've always had that travel bug, but after I moved back to the States after living in Peru for a while, you just got on your grind, working, grad school, working, things become an adult and do adult things, and that's what I've been doing, right? But now, because I'm still doing that, but now I changed my lifestyle to where I can be on the move more and be able to live here. I definitely have to travel more, especially after going to, not after going to Colombia, but after going to Brazil. It's just that Brazil when I went to Brazil recently, well, a while back, I should say, it was such a good trip. I enjoyed myself so much that I really, really fed that travel bug that's been dormant in my body. And now I want to see the world. So yeah, I've already been to, I'm probably, my next trip, yeah, I've already been to Colombia. I've already been to a lot of countries in South America. But that is just the first few countries I want to go to soon. Eventually I hit up Asia. That'd be dope. The only thing is, if I hit up Asia, I'm not going to hit up Asia for a week or 2 weeks, which means I'll be out there probably a month. And I'll be working. And with the time difference, it's going to be complicated, so I have to really plan that out really well. I went to Guam. In February 2021 during the pandemic. That was dope. Being in Guam, I actually had to work while I was there, so I was Guam is like, the difference is like, I want to say 15 hours. I think Guam is 15 hours ahead of the Eastern time zone in the US. I was also in Japan and Korea, not the same trip, but a prior trip. And they are, I believe, 13 hours ahead. So I think Thailand may be like 11 or 12 hours ahead. So with that said, yeah, I was working, so it was just so weird. Like, it's nighttime there, and I gotta be up working, and in daytime, I gotta be sleeping and not be able to take advantage of the sunlight and all that stuff. But Guam is dope. Guam has a lot to offer. Guam is definitely a secret. You know, Guam is part of the U.S. territory, so it's a secret. I guess within the U.S. However, it's far. I mean, I flew from D.C. to Houston, which is, it's like about 3 hours. But from Houston to Honolulu was 9 hours, and from Honolulu to Guam was 7 hours. On top of that, Guam is 15 hours ahead of the Eastern time zone. So it totally messed up your time and all that stuff. And then I'm out there working, so it just threw things off. But it's an enjoyable trip. I would recommend it. And if you are a United Airlines Mileage Plus frequent flyer, one trip out there will put you closer to the gold status, right? So I'm just letting you know, like, you're gonna gain a lot of miles on that trip. And United, I'm a member of United. I highly recommend it, or whoever you like flying with. But United is one of the main airlines that fly out to Guam. But if you are with Delta or Korean Air of Delta, you definitely can, fly out there and get your points that way, or miles that way. So what I was saying, I just got thrown off. Yeah, trips, right? So I kind of lost my train of thought. But to get back on the theme, once you get that travel bug, man, it's hard. It's hard to put that thing down. And I can tell you, even from the time I was a little kid, I always wanted to travel. As soon as I learned to read, and then I started reading about the animals and the different cultures and all these different places, it's like I couldn't wait to be able to travel the world. And I'm so glad that I'm blessed to have this passport to where I can go to a lot of countries without having to apply for a visa. It's definitely a blessing. And I mean, it's a lot out there in the world to see. A lot out there. And hopefully, I'll get I'll get an update real soon on what I need to do to be able what's the time limit I have to wait for to be able to apply for Dominican citizenship. Because that way, having Dominican citizenship, at that point, I'm officially Dominican, by the government standards, right? And I don't have to continue to renew my residency and all that stuff. And also, there are a few countries that require U.S. citizens to have a visa that do not require Dominican citizens to have a visa, right? There are a few countries out there where I got to apply for a visa as a U.S. citizen, but as a Dominican citizen, I wouldn't have to. What else? Other plans? That's it. I don't have a car here. I think I'd like to get a car at some point. I'm not in a rush because uh, the car market is different here, and also I'm still getting to where I need to go through Uber and Driver. But at some point, I'd like to get a car. I'd like to get a car. Preferably a SUV here because these roads are bad here. These roads are something else. These roads are bad here. I'm gonna say that. What else? Anybody out there have any questions, any comments, anything at all? Anything? Cualquier cosa, una pregunta, comentario. So I'll tell you this, it doesn't normally rain that much here. Like, it'll rain, then it'll be sunny, then it'll rain, it'll be sunny, it'll rain, it'll be sunny. But something going on here. And I've been I follow this guy on YouTube, Mr. Weatherman. And I'll write it in here. Mr. Weatherman. So essentially, he is a weather guy. There you go. He is a weather guy on YouTube that focuses on the Caribbean region, like the Gulf of Mexico and Caribbean region, because you don't really have anyone out there. I guess if you live in the Dominican Republic and you don't speak Spanish, or if you don't have cable, right, you're not going to be watching the weather or anything like that. But this guy has a YouTube channel, Mr. Weatherman, very detailed. He's always on point with whether there's a hurricane, tropical storm, rain coming in, what's going on off the coast of Africa and being pushed this way, off the coast of South America and being pushed this way. He's on it. So I highly recommend follow him. He's very informative, and he'll make sure keep you all updated if you are in the Caribbean region. What else? Also, he uses both the U.S. models and the European model of the weather patterns and everything. It's not normal, but it's been raining all day today, and it's been cool. It's been cool. I mean, I haven't had the urge to put on the AC at all. I mean, at some points, I felt like putting on the heater. I mean, it's been really cool. It's been really cool here. And not cool to the point, and not at the point where you have like a lot of mosquitoes. Like, nah, it's been cool here. And also the season is changing. It's the end of October, so even though DR is in the middle of the tropics, it does get a little cooler here. Not cool to the point where it would get like as if you were living in like New York or Chicago or even like northern Florida, right? It doesn't get that cool, but it does get cool. And believe it or not, there is an area in DR where it does freeze. Yes, there's an area in DR where it does freeze in the wintertime. Yes, Pico Duarte, Duarte Peak. That is the highest point in the Caribbean, and there it can snow. It does freeze during the winter, and it can snow as well. So for those of you who like to hike, Pico Duarte is not accessible by road. So if you wanted to go there to the highest peak, in the Caribbean, you would have to trek there. I believe it's like a 2 days trek from one of the small towns near Constanza, which is like, I think Constanza is maybe like an hour and some change southwest of Santiago, maybe 30 minutes away from Jarabacoa. So yeah, it's like a 2, maybe 3 day trek, depending on your pace. And you'll get there, and you have to trek with a guide. It's mandatory. Like when you enter the national park, you got to trek with a guide. I think the guide has to be like licensed as well. So just so you know. But yeah, it's been cool. It's Friday. I ain't got no job. I ain't got nothing to do. So I'm chilling, hanging out with you all, trying to see if anyone comes online. You can start up a conversation or something about anything. So recently, maybe a few months ago, actually, I met another brother from the U.S. who lives in my building. He actually lives on the one floor above me. He is here part-time from Florida. You know what? I think it'd be a good idea if I got him on a video. I'm gonna do that. Next time I talk to him, I'm gonna text. I'm gonna shoot him a text, and see if he's up to that. That'd be dope. That'd be dope. Army vet from Florida, and he spends half the year here in DR, and the other half over there in Florida. He works. I think he's like partially retired and works remotely as well. So cool brother, older gentleman. I think he'd be able to share a lot with all of you who are interested in that remote lifestyle as well. So he'll have a lot to offer. I do want to mention, speaking of remote jobs or working here in DR, I came across some veterans that actually work here. Yeah, they actually work here. The call centers are filled with people, with foreigners who work here. I didn't know that. I knew of some foreigners working in call centers here in DR, but I didn't know that there was such a high number of foreigners working in call centers here in DR. And I don't know what the pay is, but apparently the pay is good enough to where they can work and earn a living here. So for those of you who maybe can't find that remote job, but still wants to move to DR or another country, I mean, the Philippines is very, there's a lot of call centers. And that's because the Philippines, even though they speak Tagalog, English is also an official language in the Philippines. So therefore, a lot of folks speak English in the Philippines or know some English. So with that said, I don't know if there's a lot of competition for those call center jobs in the Philippines, or if they require you to be a native speaker in the Philippines, or want that, American or native accent. But it's an option. DR call centers, it's an option if you really want to move here. That probably goes the same for other countries such as Brazil or Colombia. I'm just not familiar with folks doing that in those countries. Yeah, and also for those folks looking for remote jobs, there's a lot of resources out there. You just put your name out there, your resume out there on various platforms, you'll get phone calls and emails. I'm constantly getting emails on potential positions, remote positions. But I'm good for what I'm doing right now. If I want to do something else in the future, you know, I'd dig deeper in those opportunities. But I'm good now. I'm good now. Yeah, I'm good now. Anyone got any questions? Anything at all? So I with this channel, one thing I wanted to do more of with this channel, I'm still going to do my resorts. I get a lot of attention with that. So and I enjoy showing folks about the resorts and stuff, answering questions with the resorts, and I get more interaction with those videos. But I like to do more uh, interviews with regular people. I've been doing it. I've been doing it with some YouTubers, and that's been cool. But I want to get some with like regular Dominicans or foreigners who live here. Just talking about their experiences and all that stuff. Uh, Also, I'd like to know what would you all like to see? Because I do a variety of things, but I also like to know what the audience want to see, right? What 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 does the audience want to see from me? Now, I ain't gonna be chucking and jiving, and I ain't gonna be doing all that. I ain't gonna be doing no craziness, but I really would like to know what you all think. What you all want to see from me. Um, if I don't have any questions or comments or anything like that, I guess I'm gonna get off soon. But before I do get off, I do want to thank all of you who have been supporting me from the time I started this channel, supporting me, through the, you know, everything, asking questions and commenting on my videos, making requests and all of that. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support because you guys are the reason why I continue to do this. Because many times I thought, you know what, man, forget this whole YouTube thing because it's just too much work for little, I guess, little feedback. When I first started this channel, all I wanted to do was document my moves to DR. But then as I was doing that, I got a lot of questions. So then I put out, how to open up a bank account, how to send money to DR, how to get an apartment, how to do this, how to do that. This is what this is. This is what this is. And I've been getting more feedback. Then I put up a couple of videos about a resort and this and that, more feedback. So, thank you all for, just hanging out with me and taking the time out to, watch my channel, even if it's just a couple of minutes on the video and making a comment and give me a like. I appreciate it because without your support, my channel would not have grown to where it's at right now. Though you may see some videos only have 10 views or 15 views, 20 views. But then you also see the opposite where I have some videos where I have 25,000 views, 20,000 views, 15,000 views. So, my channel is not filled with, clickbait videos, right? Some of the videos I do may interest a lot of people, and some may not interest hardly anyone, right? But I'm going to put the material out there because I don't do this channel for those interested in clickbait or anything like that. I want to put out information. I want to share information And I want to share my experiences. Simple as that. Some folks may get something out of it, some folks may not. But I'm not going to be out here, checking a job and then, trying to appease a crowd that can give me more views. Where I just put out information and videos where some people may enjoy it and some people may not. Now, I do know that I can improve in the my graphic, video editing skills, but al paso, yo hago eso. Nada, pero la gente que habla español, muchas gracias por apoyar mi canal. Yo empecé este canal solamente para documentar mi experiencia con mi transición a la República Dominicana. Y ahora yo estoy aquí y empecé a hacer otros videos como cómo puedes abrir una cuenta con el banco, o cómo puedes sacar una cédula, o cómo yo puedo hacer eso. Entonces, mucha gente le gusta esos videos, me estaba preguntando muchos comentarios, y por eso yo seguí haciendo mucho más videos sobre estos temas. Y cuando yo empecé haciendo videos de los resorts y hoteles, más gente me escribió, me preguntó, gracias, yo quiero ver más, ¿qué pasa con eso? ¿Cuál fue tu experiencia con eso? Por esa misma razón, yo seguí con el canal. So with that said, that's why, and I said in Spanish, that's why I kept with the channel, because I got all the feedback from all of you. So I really appreciate it. But if I don't have any questions, si yo no tengo ninguna pregunta, voy a salir. I'm going to end it right here. Let's see. Before I stop it, I do want to touch more on the first topic, which is the holiday fading away in the Dominican Republic. I want to touch on that. A lot of foreigners that live in the Dominican Republic live in tourist areas. I'm pretty sure that a lot live in the city like Santo Domingo and all that, but there's a higher concentration of foreigners living in the tourist areas, such as Punta Cana, such as Las Terrenas, such as Boca Chica, such as Sosúa, such as Puerto Plata, such as La Zona Colonial in Santo Domingo. And a lot of them are, a lot of them are still coming because, let's be honest, DR is very convenient for folks living in the US and Canada, because you can get here in a 3 hours and a half, depending on where you're coming from, 2 hours, depending on where you're coming from in the States. You can be in DR. You can be in Paradise real quick, direct flight from cities like Boston, New York, Newark, DC, Charlotte, Atlanta, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Orlando, I believe Philadelphia, I believe Chicago as well, I believe Houston as well. You can get a direct flight here in DR, boom, like that. You can be here in a few hours. Very convenient. And also you're in the same time zone. Very convenient. Well, the time is going to change next week, so there'll be an hour difference between the Eastern time zone and the time here in DR and Puerto Rico and the Eastern Caribbean. But yeah, it's quick, it's convenient. So it's not like folks are going to stop coming to DR. Whether they feel like the holidays wearing off or not, folks are going to continue to come to DR because it's convenient. It's cheap to come for a weekend, or come for a week or 2 weeks, enjoy yourself and go back. Convenient. But is the holiday wearing off? To a lot of folks, yes. A lot of folks complain about prices of cost of living, prices, etc., is more expensive now. Or a lot of folks have alluded to the Pookie and Ray Ray, right? The ignorant folks have come out here to DR and made things worse, or gave people a bad name, a bad reputation, or gave weekend warriors or weekend travelers or expatriates a bad name. That's quite possible. I'm sure there's a lot of truth to that. However, really ain't nothing changed, man. Ain't nothing changed here. It's the same as it was before, in my opinion. Yeah, prices have gone up a bit, but it's the same as it was before. The only thing is, I think a lot of folks have done all they wanted to do, and it wasn't so new anymore, and now they move on to someplace else. I think a lot of folks are in that boat as well. If you come to a country, if you come to a country and really observe the people, the culture, the system, you'll realize there ain't nothing changed. Not here. Not here. Besides, the price is going up, but the cost of living and all that, ain't nothing changed here. The same old, same old. But I can tell you that once I get really, really established here, and once I get citizenship here, and hopefully I can get that soon, I'll probably spend only part of the year here. Only part of the year here. Because I got that bug. I got that bug to travel. Once you get that travel bug, man, once you get that travel bug, there ain't no stopping it. There ain't no stopping it. Sidebar, I just got my new passport. And that new passport is heavy. So I don't know when this changed, but the last time I got my passport, the last passport that was issued to me was 2014. And before that, it was 2004. So those two passports, I don't think there was much of a difference. But this new passport, it is heavy. And the main passport picture page is thick. Like it's more like a card. It's more like a card. And there's so much detail. I think they put in all this detail in the passport to mitigate making fake passports. But it is heavy. And it looks like it has a lot more pages too. So just want to throw that out there. And it probably has a chip in there as well, I think. I think it has a chip in there. But I'm almost pushing an hour. One more minute. If I don't have any questions, any comments, anything at all. If I don't have anything, I'm just going to pop off because I'm sure some of you are still working or doing something else. It's raining here. I ain't doing nothing else. After this, I'll probably go exercise and maybe just go chill and hang out. Let's see what else. Nah, that's it. That's it. Preguntas, comentario. Let's see. I don't want to hit on anything else. Now that's it. I ain't got enough to say. That's it. Hey, so if you are tuning in with me, thank you for tuning in. Muchas gracias por tu apoyo. Give me a like, da me gusta. Y eso es. I'll be putting out more videos soon. Peace.